he's going to be rolling in gold in just a few moments here.
No.
And yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, Ancient Apparition tries to fight it up, but Razor just don't give a shit. He's almost got a full mech already. I mean, he is literally, well, now he's 700 gold from a mechanism at 5 minutes into the game. That's huge. He's got 2 kills under his belt and the second highest CS on the board. I mean, this Razor is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think a lot of it comes down to how they lane this. I mean, I don't mean to trash Ophion so early on. I mean, they're only down 2-0, but I mean, this Ursa is going to have to come out of the jungle and do absolute work to really make this game happen. And I mean, I don't even know what he's doing right now. Eddie Big Gig, man, you got to go back to base. He's going to try to fight it up with Fury Swipes, but I think these creeps can kill you. Oh, okay, he's going to back it up. Maybe. If he dies, I'm gonna laugh. Oh no, okay. He survives. He survives. Oh boy. Alright, so he's got his Morbid Mask now. That's going to make his jungling a lot more efficient. And get him a little bit closer to that Vlad's. Once he picks up the Vlad's, he'll be able to go do that Roshan really easily. And, actually, I don't know if, yeah. He'll be able to do it. I don't know if it'll be easy. I don't know if the enemy team will let him, but I mean that's the other thing that's really strong about this jungle Ursa, which I hadn't talked about, was the fact that you never really know where he is because he's usually just farming the jungle, right? So if he comes out, oh man, great stun there, and oh man, the sentry wears off the exact second, and I can't continue beating on the Weaver. He's gonna walk away from that. That was really unfortunate. Very, very sad timing. But yeah, I mean, you never know where the Ursa is. So, you know, if there's no ward, if there's a smoke or whatever, he can roam right into Roche, and nobody's ever going to see it. Like, you don't know. You can't say, oh, Ursa's off the map, he's probably at Roche, because he's always off the map. Not a fan of these Tranquils in lane. I think you auto-attack too much to really make Tranquils worth having in the lane. I think if the Axe is jungling or roaming, it's perfectly fine. Get him a little later, though. Save that gold that you spent on the Tranquils and just get something... Get something else. Get your Blink Dagger, man. Get a Vanguard. Yeah, then jumping in on Wicked here. He took a lot of damage. Is now level 6. What I'd actually really like to see is them rotate the Ancient Apparition out now that he's 6. Get him a quick 6 so that he can contribute with his ultimate, and then rotate another hero in here, whether it be the Ursa or even the Weaver. I think the Weaver is probably the best choice. Rotate the Weaver into mid lane and then push somebody else towards that off lane, whether it be the Axe or something like that. And then you know, just rotate your lane so that you're making efficient use of the map. And now that your AA is 6, you can start throwing down ultimates like this. And bam, this Wraith King is going to drop. I mean, his ultimate's going to get popped off, which is totally fine, but you know, that's a Wraith King ultimate down, 260 seconds on cooldown, and they're going to be just fine. Wraithfire Blast misses, Weaver gets away, and I think if a gank comes in, they're going to be able to jump in on that Wraith King, no problemo. In the Roche pit now that Vladimir's is finished, and Ursa is going to try to clear that out. If bashes are bad, though, he could get picked off. There was a ping by the Wraith King towards the towards Roshan now. We'll see if they do manage to fight that up. Axe is going to get picked off by this Razor doing so much damage. AA tries to turn around and do a little bit more damage, but he gets popped as well. So much damage stolen up by that Razor. I mean, he's sitting on over 100 damage with that sap. He's looking good. Got that mechanism up, and even though the Ursa gets the Roshan, I don't know if it matters all that much. There's you know, there's a lot of pushing going on. This is one of the things about Ursa too, is that, I mean, the hero is built around the idea that you do get Roche. Like, Roche is part of your build as Ursa. You know, it's like, at this point, you get an Aegis of the Immortal, and if you don't get that, you're actually behind. Like, it's not just like gravy on the cake anymore. It's you know, it's come down to be an effective Ursa, you need to get Roshan. So, you know, right now I'd say that this Ursa is even, if not even a little bit behind because of the, you know, how slow it is to jungle. If he was in lane, he could have had that Vlad's at, you know, 5 or 6 minutes and then rotated down, but either way, he's got it. Means he can brawl up a little bit easier now. He's getting his boots coming up soon as well. Doing these Ancients will help him out a lot. I think he won't have enough money for his full phase boots after this, but you know, he does another camp or something, he'll have his phase boots, and he'll be able to run and fight with the best of them. Alright, let's look towards the items here. We got a Midas on the Wraith King, we talked about that. Death Prophet has a Staff of Intelligence, so I do believe that will probably be leading into a Yule Scepter. Nothing but a Ring of Akia on the Marana. Brand Boots on Earthshaker. Mechanism Power Treads on the Razor. Yeah, not too much else to speak of. Disruptor is going for a mech right now. He's got the headdress. Nothing else on top of that. Axe only has his Tranquils. And Tier 1 tower better get dropped. Get dropped, son. Razor with a haste rune heading down towards bottom. If this isn't a kill, it's a Tier 1 tower, man. That's starting to look ugly. Starting to look ugly. There he goes. He's going to run up. Pops off the plasma field. Doesn't actually catch the Weaver, but catches the creep wave. Going to help clear that out. And they're going to shove in on this tower. They do have a siege creep coming in with this wave. Oh. No, siege creep's already dead. Never mind. This is left over from later. Yeah, I think even the two of these guys pushing this tower and shoving the Weaver off will be enough. I mean, Weaver's going to try to pull the Creeper back. Actually, there's an AA ultimate coming in. But, yeah. Tower going to take some damage, Weaver going to take some damage, and no rotations coming in quite yet. In fact, Ophion is pushing in towards mid-tier 1. Going to try to claim that for themselves. But there are TPs coming in. They have a Fortify. They don't have a Fortify. They already did it. Now the Razor's going to pop off this haste rune, come in and fight this up, and he can actually jump in on that Ursa, but no, he gets glimpsed back, and is he going to keep going? This could be a little bit dangerous for him. If he gets like taunted by the axe and just like destroyed by the Ursa, it's possible, but no. The Ursa gets his Aegis popped, and now Razor is just wreaking havoc. The Disruptor is actually going to survive because of the taunt from Axe, but this haste rune doing work, man? No, he's not going to go any further. Not going to risk it. Instead turns to fight up the Ursa. AA Ice Blast going to come in, not going to land on anything. Catches the Death Prophet on the way in, so she has her healing muted for a second, but that's not going to matter all that much. She is moving away, and so quick, this movement speed. This is what I was talking about during the draft, was that, I mean, their ability to kind of just kite out these heroes, kite out the Axe, kite out the Ursa, is just insane. I mean, Razor and Death Prophet are two very kind of similar heroes in the fact that they have innate movement speed buffs, and just kind of get really quick and hard to deal with. And of course, like I said, Wraith King didn't act. Actually, he might go for Blink Dagger now. He doesn't have it quite yet, but he has the gold if he wants it. We'll see what he purchases. But the Earthshaker, of course, should optimally be getting a Blink Dagger. That'll happen sometime in the next 10-15 minutes or so, since he is kind of... yeah, okay, so Blink Dagger on the Wraith King. Earthshaker is kind of the 5 role right now, as the Marana has been focusing on getting a little bit more damage. She's got the Ring of Akia, and of course she doesn't have any CS or anything, but you always want your Marana to be a little bit more effective in terms of fighting and not so much utility. Ice Blast going to fly in, catches on the Death Prophet. She's going to pop off the ultimate, though, and they're looking to go on this. The Razor's chasing up from behind. Great fissure lands on the Axe, and I think this might be the death. They're chasing in, the Spirits are going, and the Death Prophet will get the kill on the Axe. Spirits continuing to follow up, and the Razor jumps in and take one small poke at the ass of Wicket and finishes him off. So that'll be it, and I think this Tier 1 tower is going to follow very shortly thereafter. They got the Exorcism up, they got creeps coming in, and yeah, this tower is going to be a gonzo in just a moment. Will they be able to trade for anything? I don't think so. I mean, the Ursa's just farming up the jungle, the Disruptor, he's doing nothing. He's just getting a couple levels in the mid lane, and everybody else is dead. Tier 1 tower drops, 6-0 the kill score, and 14 minutes in is the game. Alright, sorry, I'm missing this stuff. Anyways, Arrow flies, oh my god, lands on the Weaver. He gets finished off, and there we go. Echo Slam catches on the 2 as they TP in. AA turns around, gets the Ice Blast off, but it's not going to mean a whole lot. And they're just camping out the TPs. I mean, they can't do anything here, and there's going to be a Tier 2 as well. I mean, there's a fresh creep wave coming in just a second. They've got a siege creep here to tank this up, and yeah, this is, oh man, this is looking pretty disastrous. This is going to be a runaway game, and really, I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, there's still a very minute chance that Ophion can make this comeback, but it's going to require some very, very, very strong team fighting. Oh my god, Radiant's courier gets killed. Where did the courier die? Let's select the Radiant hero and go to, oh, okay, just click on courier hotkey. Instead, watch the game where Earthshaker is dying. And now the Razor's getting picked off as well. The Ice Blast will finish him off, and that's 800 gold in the pocket of the Disruptor. Actually, Disruptor got it with the Thunder Strike. Alright. So a couple kills go the way of Ophion. EXGamesPro sticking around a little bit longer than they should have. And I think Ursa is going to be toast, man. Like, he can run. Okay, he's going to be able to get away. Wraith King didn't want to chase. He did have the Blink Dagger, so I think if he just like kept blinking and kept throwing out the stuns, he might have been able to finish Ursa off, but didn't want to go too far. Instead, opts to just turn around and farm with the creep wave. Down on the bottom lane, we got Ophion moving in. He's going to try to finish off. Well, actually, not even. They're going to try to start on this tier 1 tower. Ice Blast going to fly in. Get a miss, though. Weaver chasing in. He's going to get juked out and just turn around back. Behind the trees, Razor's still there. Still a relevant force. And he's going to start chasing this up. He's got the team behind him. He knows he does. And he's got the mechanism to keep him alive. So he's just going to go, start causing trouble however he can. And the Wraith King follows up with that stun. There we go. Cold Feet going to latch onto the Razor. And he pops off that mechanism, so he's going to get that heals up. And Axe, Ancient Apparition, both get dropped. Razor dropping a little bit to the bugs, and Weaver scurries out through the allied jungle, but doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. Radiant top, actually, okay, so Dire tier 2 is going to drop in exchange for the Radiant tier 2 top, which, alright, fair enough. I think Ophion is basically just took the best out of that they could. Obviously, they didn't want to lose the Axe or the AA, but I think if they had disengaged from bottom lane well, and the Ursa continued farming as he did, I think they would have been a little bit better off. Now, Shadowblade going to be the pickup for Ursa. This is kind of interesting because when you pick up Shadowblade on an Ursa, you kind of want to use it to just kind of turn the entire game in your favor by just finding these ridiculous pickoffs in the enemy jungle. Just like walk up, find somebody, kill them quickly, and just get out and just start to snowball from there. And, it really is a snowbally item, and I think EXGamesPro is not going to see it coming at first, and they might lose a couple of heroes to it right off the bat. And if they do, and Ursa starts to get ridiculous, gets a second Roche, this could be the turnaround for Ophion. This could be what they need to really bring them back into the game, because I've been talking about how strong XGames is in their ability to push and their ability to kind of just, siege and chase and just do a lot of burst damage. But, I don't know if they have the heroes to deal with a fed Ursa. I mean, he can blow up a Razor a lot quicker than Razor can sap his damage. And, same thing goes for, a hero like a Wraith King. Now, they're looking back towards Roche. It is not up yet. We've still got a minute left before we see it spawn again. So that will be... That'll be hanging in the balance there. Anyways, Ursa finds the Wraith King. Might finish him off. He cannot blink away. And the Wraith King's ultimate is going to be popped. Are they going to fight it up, though? Yeah, they're going to do it. EXGamesPro is coming in with the Exorcism upgrade. Gets a silence on 2. But the Fissure blocks off the entire team. That was incredibly poorly thought out. And actually gives EXGames the ability to just walk out of that. No problem. Oh, man. This team's got to be flaming him so hard right now. I would, if an Earthshaker on my team did that, I would tell them that he's off the team. He wouldn't actually be off the team. I would tell him that. Yeah, I mean, he wanted to get the stun, I understand, but like, when you're standing here, you got to take note of the fact that you were going to block the entire lane with that Fissure, and that's exactly what he did. Ophion putting some pressure down towards the bottom tier 1. I don't think EXGamesPro is interested in defending. Oh, maybe they are. Alright, we got the Razor TPing in. We had the Earthshaker down here before, but he left, and the Razor's just going in. It's going balls to the wall, and there we go. We got the Static Storm Kinetic Field drop just for the Razor, and we'll see if that does pay off, but the Wraith King is here as well. Has a stun ready to go, and he's going to jump in on the Axe. Axe should get finished off here in just a second. Yeah, Razor will steal the kill with the Plasma Field, and now they're looking toward the Weaver. He's going to get away with the time lapse. I'm going to try to run away from that. Arrow going to fly. Is it going to latch? I don't think so, but no, it will land on the Ancient Apparition instead. That's still a kill. Razor gets that and will continue chasing on. He is so fast and just, oh man, he's dishing out all the damage in the world. Looking for that Disruptor. The Kinetic Field is pretty decent. We'll slow them down, keep them away from chasing, and Disruptor will walk away from that. But, I mean, those 2 kills alone could still mean the death of their tier 3 tower if they push hard enough. I don't think they're going to. They've got a lot of other stuff that they want to address. Maybe they should even go Roche right now, because the Roche is up, and Ursa is nowhere nearby. I think if they took it right now, this would be the time to do it. And yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to move into the Roche pit. They're pinging it. They're indecisive right now. They don't know if they want to or not. With the Mirana arrows, you can do it pretty easily, though. Mirana just stays outside the pit and just throws arrows at it. You know, they can handle it. But anyways, Ice Blast is going to come in, and yeah, that'll be the disengage. They can't deal with the damage. That'll drop Earthshaker below half, and you know, having the entire team coming in to follow that up is not what they need. Moving in towards mid-tier 2 now. They look like they want to fight. I mean, they have Exorcism up. Wraith King's ultimate is still on cooldown, but they have the Razor ult as well, so they can just start to kind of shove this down. Razor's sitting about 350 gold from his Aghanim Scepter right now, so when he picks that up, he'll be a lot scarier in these fights. He'll start melting towers, melting people, and just doing all sorts of incredibly ugly things. Anyways, Ursa goes into Roche by himself. He wants to try to pick this up on the backside of this fight. You know, while EXGamesPro is focusing on their towers, he wants to get in there and secure the Roche. We have way too low to fight any of this stuff. He needs to go back to base. Ice Blast gonna fly off to absolutely nothing. Alright. And yeah. Tier 2 tower gonna fall. Ursa's still working on Roche. That'll be finished in just uno momento here. And there he goes. Picks up the Aegis of Immortal. But he doesn't have the mana to use the Shadow Blade, and he's getting chased up here. Will he get picked off? Yeah, there we go. The Yule Scepter used to hold him down a little bit. Gets silenced up. There's a Wraithfire Blast available whenever he wants it. The Razor just sitting on the front line, dishing out the damage. Gets that mechanism off, and he's still got a magic wand. Give him a little bit more health whenever he needs it. They're trying to finish off that Ursa, but the call comes out from the axe, and oh my god, the Great Fissure lands, going to finish off the Ursa. Now, Ice Blast goes in on the Kinetic Field Static Storm. That's going to do a lot of damage, finishes off that Earthshaker. Now, Courier flying into the middle of this battle. He's going to get away from that, no problem. We got 3 heroes down on the side of the Radiant right now, and this is not looking good for them. The Mirana's trying to run away from this, but if they have dust, if they have anything... oh, wait, there was dust on someone? Oh, the Mirana had the dust. I was like, clicking. I was like, I saw dust in an inventory. No, the Mirana had the dust. She walks away from that completely fine. The Weaver did actually almost come across her there, but that is a lot of gold in the pocket of Ophion. That is a lot of what they needed. If we swap over towards the gold graph here, once this updates, I'm sure we'll see this swing down a little bit further than it is right now. But going from a 5k advantage to a 3.5k advantage in a single fight is really good for Ophion. It's one of the baby steps that they need in their attempt to bring this game back, and the XP is actually still in their favor. I mean, they've been taking advantages they've been taking fights intelligently and being spread out across the map, and it's been giving them a bit of an XP advantage this entire time. And you know, that one good fight from EXGamesPro shot them up, and then that last fight shot them right back down. Alright, moving down towards the tower here. They're going to look for some action on this tier 2. I don't know if they're going to get it, though. I mean, this is looking a little bit sketchy, and the Razor's right there in the middle of all of them, tanking everything up. He's got that mech. Is he going to get it popped off? There he goes. He pops off the mech, but just before he dies, Razor is going to be the first casualty of this fight. But they're chasing this up. The Death Prophet's dishing out a lot of damage with these spirits. Ursa going to be the first casualty of war, and now the Disruptor trying to TP out. Not going to be the case. Yeah, he's toast. There goes the Disruptor, and the Axe is still really, really low. They might be able to chase this. No, Mirana doesn't have the mana. She can't throw an arrow. She can't do nothing. Instead, I think they're just... Are they just going to push? Or are they going to go back for the Weaver? You're not going to kill the Weaver if you go for him, but you might defend the tower. Alright, they're going to fortify TP back. They didn't let him put it in deny range, which was interesting, because if they let him get that one last attack with the Geminate, I think that would have given them the ability to deny that tower. And they might actually still get it with the Siege Creep. Yeah, he puts it just in a deny range, so they can deny the tower if they do want to. They might not... Yeah, I think they're going to leave it standing. I don't know if they actually realize it can be denied, but... you know, if they do, it's still a good idea to keep that tower alive. Because Roche is such a, you know, key part of this engagement with the Ursa on the field, you want to be able to get there as soon as possible. And if later on in the game, this tower has been ignored, and you know, you see the enemy team going into Roche, it's going to be very valuable to be able to TP here and then run up towards the Roshan. Alright, let's take a peek at the items tab, see what we're sitting on. We've got the Razor sitting on an Aghanim Scepter, so he's got that as well. I mentioned that was coming up very shortly. Of course, the Mechanism, he's had that all game long. We got a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker now. Mirana has nothing but power treads and a Ring of Achilles, so just kind of very minor items for her. She'll start to pick up later on in the game. Death Prophet looking towards the Shiva's Guard, doesn't have it quite completed just yet, but she'll have it in just uno momento. Yule Scepter, Divinity on her as well. Maelstrom and Blink Dagger on top of the Wraith King, as well as the fact that he has that Midas, so he's farming up and starting to get to the point of ridiculousness. Down on the dire side, we've got Wicket moving towards a... he's moving towards an Aghanim, but he's pretty far behind on that. He's got about 1,500 gold to go until he picks that up. Blade Mail, Blink Dagger, and what looks to be the beginnings of an Aghanim Scepter on the Axe. We've got that Shadow Blade that I mentioned earlier, the Vlads, and a Basher on the Ursa. And then the Weaver has his Lincoln's, that item that I kind of forgot the name of for a second. Disruptor. He looks like he is heading towards a Hood of Defiance, or not a Hood of Defiance, the Hood of Things and stuff that does the Veil of Discord. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that name, but yeah, Veil of Discord is coming up on him. He's got that mech as well as the Arcane Boots. Oh boy. Anyways, Invis Rune, not going to be touched quite yet. Actually, okay. Yeah, the Razor's going to pick that up and bottle it out. Roshan respawning in 5 minutes and 41 seconds. So from here, we're going to see that marker extend to just up there. So that'll be it. Yeah. Roshan, the third Roshan will be a big one for sure. It's going to be where both teams are really jockeying to kind of secure that late game position. I think if the Ursa gets another Aegis and the cheese goes on to somebody like the Weaver, Ophion is going to be getting very, very scary. Anyways, Ursa jumps right in on the middle of this, going for the Razor first, but he gets absolutely demolished right off the bat, and he is out of the fight. Weaver as well takes a ton of damage from this Razor's ultimate, and he's going to get finished off. Wicket's going to try to run away from this, but it is not going to happen. He gets finished off, and meanwhile, the Death Prophet is just wreaking havoc on the back line. Jumps in on the Axe, the Echo Slam goes out, going to finish off that Disruptor, and now chasing in towards the Axe. He's going to get finished off in just a couple seconds. There he goes. Tries to pop off the Blade Mail, but that is it. 5-man wipe for absolutely nothing. And EXGamesPro taking what seemed like it may have been, you know, an even-er state of the game and just jockeying it right back into position. 5,000 experience gained from that fight, bringing it right back to even and keeping their gold lead completely secured. Oh yeah, you see the spike right here as it updates. Goes from about 3,000 to just like way over 5,000, almost 10k. And that's absolutely huge. This is going to be a Rax, no question about it. And yeah, this is definitely not what Ophion needed. They needed to take a great engagement there, and if they didn't, that was going to be huge problems for them. Ice Blast going to come out, doesn't land on much, and Razor just fighting it up. He's a man. He can do these things. And Arrow going to land on the Ursa. There's five men up, so maybe they don't get the racks, but this fight could go very bad for them. Razor actually drops. He's going to be the first one down. The Death Prophet still dishing out a ton of damage. Pops off that Shiva's Guard. And, oh yeah, Wraith King's going to get dropped. I think he's going to have to just blink out. And, oh no, he gets taunted. Yeah, okay, so Wraith King's out. Arrow going to fly. They're not going to do anything with that. They lose 2, but they do get the Tier 3 tower and expose the barracks. Oh man, glimpse back on the Mirana. She gets missed. So, 3 years down. Good fight there for Ophion. I still don't think that makes up for the wipe and the 2 towers that they just lost, but, you know, it's progress. It's progress. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, Death Prophet farms tonight. Alright. Yeah, you can see both of the graphs kind of tip back down after that engagement there. Exactly what you'd expect, but yeah. Ursa gonna look in the Roche, not gonna find it. It is not up yet. Meanwhile, Wraith King finishes up his Mjolnir now. I think this is actually going to be very, very effective with their lineup. I think what they want to do for the next engagement is send the Death Prophet up first. I mean, the Razor has been acting very... Oh, man. Engagement on the mid lane. Wicked getting caught out. Tries to pop off the ultimate. He's going to get finished up in just a second here. Arrow flies in, catches a creep. Actually going to taunt up the Razor, and actually the Death Prophet does get finished off. That's 600 gold in the pocket of the Ancient Apparition after that Ice Blast finishes him off. But there we go. They get the Disruptor. And now, trying to fight up the Razor. Not going to happen, though. Ursa is in the middle of a fight that he is going to lose. Lightning flying absolutely everywhere, and he gets finished off. 3 for 1, and momentum on to the Tier 3 tower. Cancels that TP because they realize there's no save in the Tier 2, and Weaver is back to try to defend. I don't know if there's much you can do, buddy. You gotta just kind of take what you can get. He's dishing out some damage, but he gets slammed down by that Earthshaker. I can't see him. They have sentries in the inventory, though, so if they do catch him with a stun or something, it could be devastating. The AA has picked up that Aghanim Scepter with the spoils from his last kill. So that's going to do a lot of damage to this Mirana, and if the Weaver can catch up and get a couple auto attacks out, it might actually kill Mirana. Oh, alright, so she dodges the attack, which means that the Geminate does not proc. They're still chasing in. Arrow going to fly, misses on the Weaver, and oh yeah, the Earthshaker is going to pop. There he goes. I think he actually would have been able to TP out of that if it wasn't for the AA ultimate, but that Aghanim's upgrade is just so ridiculous, and now that that's up, I think there's a lot better chance for EXGamesPro to fight. I mean, the mechanism has been doing a lot of work this game, and of course, I mean, the Death Prophet hasn't been, I mean, her spirits have always been active during the fight, but that's another important thing to mention is that, you know, if you start bursting her down and her spirits come back to her with the Ancient Apparition ultimate on her, it can really mess her up. I mean, she relies on that heal quite a bit. Alright. Double damage rune spotted out on top. I think the Weaver's going to go pick that up for himself. This is almost one of those scenarios where I would do what Cloud9 does a lot, and that's just pick up a bottle just for the rune. You see that there's a double damage rune, just camp it out and fly a bottle out to yourself, whether that's someone on your team that already has it, like the Ancient Apparition, and then just give the bottle with the double damage rune to, and it can really make a difference in the next engagement. I mean, if you hold on to that, and if you use it in the right scenario, and you just get that damage, you're gonna, I mean, you can win a fight. You can get a 5-0 wipe because you played it just right, and I think that, you know, means a whole lot. But, you know, it's something that I think Ophion would have needed to be able to really continue on in this game. Now, the third Roche is going to get finished off here, so the cheese is going to drop. Ursa picks up the Aegis. Oh, actually, he picks up the cheese first. Is he going to take both? Oh, he actually sells the cheese.
Of the first bear
alright. I would have given the cheese to Weaver, man. Weaver's getting exploded in these fights. Having time-lapse and then cheese would be absolutely huge for him, but, well, Ursa just sells the cheese, gets a little bit more gold, so he's towards his Black King bar, and, yeah, for those of you that didn't know, you can sell cheese. It gives you 500 gold on the dot, and, sometimes, very rarely, can be a wise investment. We'll see, though. I don't know if it was absolutely necessary. I mean, this doesn't get him his Black King bar, it just gets him a little bit closer. And it looks like fights are probably going to break up beforehand. Oh my god, great glimpse, catches out the Wraith King. He's going to get exploded here. He does have his ultimate, though, so he moves a little bit further forward to make sure he slows everybody. And the Razor is in, trying to fight this up, but he gets dropped almost instantly. Actually, he's still alive. Oh my god. Great Echo Slam catches almost everybody, but the Earthshaker's going to fall very shortly after there. And Death Prophet coming in with the Exorcism, the Shiva's Guard, dishing out mad damage. That is 2 heroes down, and the Ursa's Aegis has been popped. Now Yule's up on the Weaver. He's going to try to run away from that, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Ursa trying to duel up the Death Prophet, but these spirits are just too much. 4 heroes down in exchange for the Earthshaker, and maybe the Weaver if they can find him. He jukes up to the high ground. Are they going to find him? He's TPing away. Razor does not go up the hill. Weaver's going to get away from that, but this is still going to be a lane of racks. Oh my god, this was huge.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, these racks are hurting, man.
Are fortified.
Weaver trying to poke in a little bit. Oh, can't do much.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And there we go, pushing in towards these His racks, Razor ultimate up. I think they're going to be able to get the melee racks. Are they? No, they're backing it out. They're afraid, man. Oh, the glimpse. Holds the Marauder back. She's going to fall. And, wow, actually, Ancient Apparition got the Wraith King as well. He was a little bit too low. So, exposed racks again, but not completely finished off. This is, man, I mean, EXGamesPro really needs to, you know, chop down these buildings. I think if Weaver gets to his like full late game build, gets that Desolator, starts dishing out the damage, he's gonna get really ugly. And of course, Ursa can have massive late game potential if done just right. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Rudder Tarask now picked up on the Death Prophet, so she's got health coming out the wazoo. I think I usually prefer the Bloodstone on Death Prophet, to be honest. It gives her a lot more mana regen, and the Suicide is a very, very nice perk for team fights. So we'll see. Anyways, Razor catches himself a little bit too far forward here and gets bashed up. That might be the death of him. He's going to try to pop off that Black King bar, and they're trying to turn around and fight this. The Exorcism Spirit's doing work, and the Ursa is going to drop. He does not have the Aegis this time around. He's just going to be down for 60 seconds. They're continuing to chase it up here, and the Weaver is on the back line, going to fight up that Earthshaker. Finishes him off. Meanwhile, wait, there was somebody up there. Or what? Is Weaver trying to run away? He's silenced up for now, but he'll be getting his... Yeah, there he goes. He jumps away. Death Prophet can't finish him off, and this is what I was talking about earlier on, is that the interaction between Death Prophet and Weaver, it has a lot to do with... Oh, man. That's unfortunate. This is what I was talking about earlier. You get the Ancient Apparition ultimate on you, and your spirits come back, and suddenly you're still at, like, 0 health. Really unfortunate. But they do get the Ancient Apparition for it. Ursa's still down, and they're not going to be able to push because they're all really low, but, you know, they managed to make something out of that, which is all that matters. Beat it up, beat it up, beat it up. Roshan, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes until we find out what the extra time is. Razor's now sitting on Boots Travel. Has had that Black King bar for a while, but I did not mention that. You know, it helps in these fights, but you got so much physical damage coming out between the Ursa and the Weaver that it's really not making much of a difference. I think an Assault Cuirass would be absolutely incredible for him right now. Give him a little bit more attack speed to start chunking down these fights. It'll benefit the Wraith King. It'll benefit Murano when she starts to become relevant. So I think it's worth it. In jungle, Ursa's still looking for that Black King bar, man. He has been just getting in engagements in all the wrong times. I mean, he sold that cheese so that he could be a little bit closer to it, and it just hasn't done anything for him. I mean, he's so close. He's trying to farm up the jungle, but if another engagement breaks out and he dies, it's just gonna be such a pain in the ass. He needs that Black King bar, and I mean, I honestly don't think it matters too much against this team because, you know, the Wraith King and the Razor will all just go straight through it, but... Anyways, oh, Death Prophet gets first hit bashed here, gets bashed a second time. Boots Travel from the Razor coming in to try to fight this, but he cancels those off after the axe gets distracted. Glimpse back, though, in the Death Prophet. She is toast to Renos unless she pulls off some crazy Arteezy jukes here, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nope, she gets finished off, and there it goes. So, EXGamesPro down 1, and this late game is starting to look really scary for them. I mean, they were doing really well in the early game, but it seems like every time they try to push up high ground and every time they try to gain a real late game advantage, they just can't. They get shut down, and you know, Ophion's been playing it very well. They've been executing their team fights just as they should, and you know, all these heroes that I mentioned were very squishy and you know, have to maneuver properly are doing exactly that. It's working out just. Working out just right for them, and I think if this keeps up, they might be able to bring it back. I'd love to actually look at the graphs before we get into this next fight and see where we're at. We're at a 10k advantage in gold for EXGamesPro, and a lot of that's been due to the immaculate amount of kills they have. But the XP graph is still surprisingly close. I mean, 5,000 is still a pretty significant advantage, but this late in the game, you know, it starts to wane off as relevant because everybody has at least level 16 right now. Actually, yeah, go to the level graph. Everybody except for the bottom 4 supports have 16. So, you know, the difference that makes is not tremendous. Arrow flies in, catches on the axe. I don't know if this is reason enough to go in on a fight, but they are going to go for it. Echo Slam lands, and he gets the fissure. That's all the Earthshaker needs to do. He's going to drop it, but actually maybe not. He's starting to run away from this. The Weaver jumps up to their high ground, and he's going to get finished off by these spirits. Now the axe trying to run away, trying to retreat, but a couple attacks from the Moron, not enough actually. He jukes through the trees, and he's going to survive for now. Tries to TP in a very awkward place and gets picked off. We got 3 heroes down on the side of Ophion right now, 1 hero down on the side of EXGamesPro, and a 4th going down on Ophion. So they get the wipe that they needed. The only person left alive is Wicked with that Ancient Apparition, and if he lands a good Ice Blast, I mean, he can actually maybe pick off one of these stragglers. He's coming down on that Marauder. Maybe you find something? I don't know. I think this will be Rax, though. You know, no amount of Ice Blast will finish this off. There we go. And, yeah. Ice Blast comes in. I don't know if it's going to kill off the Marana. I think this Death Prophet actually needs to get a pipe. I think that's really what they need. It'll prevent a lot of damage from the Disruptor and the Ancient Apparition, and, you know. Oh, boy. Jumps in, finishes off the Marana. Not worth it, though, man. You are going to be dead. And, there we go. Rax go down, and Wicket is going to follow very shortly thereafter. And there they go. They're moving in towards top lane. Are they going to manage to get this before people come up and defend, though? The Weaver is up, and he's moving in towards this. We got a buyback from the AA, and the Axe and Disruptor are both up. 7 seconds until the Ursa gets back up, and they are going to get the Rax for sure. It's now a matter of whether or not they can pick up enough kills to bring it back. And they do get the Wraith King. He does have his ultimate, so he's going to revive, and there we go. They get the range Rax as well. Wraith King blinks. Oh, he blinks out of the base. Okay, I thought he blinked up into the tree. Where is he? And actually gets glimpsed right back in the middle of his TP. And yeah, he gets finished off there. So the Wraith King is out of the fight, and they're going to find the Razor as well. A couple good bashes hold him in place. And so they did manage to get, you know, they got what they could out of that. But, you know, they're still down 2 sets of Rax, and this is no good, especially against a team with a Death Prophet and a Razor. I mean, right now, EXGamesPro can just afford to throw their bodies at Ophion's base. I mean, this last engagement was a bit of an exception because they were throwing it at a state where the map was not quite fully controlled by Ophion, but now, they didn't fully control the map, sorry, when they went in for that push. So, you know, it meant that... you know, their aggression could still be punished. You know, we can see this right now. Ophion moving up the mid lane, going to try to work for a Rax, and they can do this now. But, I mean, a little later on when these Mega Creeps start to pile up and they start pushing into the base, I mean, if EXGamesPro just goes bottom and just throws themselves at the tower with the Exorcism of Spirits up and the Razor ultimate up, you know, even if they all die, they're going to deal a significant enough blow that they can just respawn and come back and fight this up. Now, coming in towards the tier 2. They're going to get this for sure. Eddie Bagig, guy with a terrible name, moves in, finishes off the tower, and that is now no outer towers remaining for EXGamesPro. I think Ophion is going to back this up. They want to look for Roche, and it has just spawned, but it wasn't alive when they looked over there earlier, so I think they're going to make their way over. We'll probably see, yeah, there we go. They're going to drop the Ice Vortex in the Roche pit, so they know it's back up, and they're going to move towards picking that up right now. I think if they get that, that will be a huge, huge bonus for them. I think having 2 Ursas in a fight is just going to make such a huge difference. And actually, at this point, I think I'd give the Aegis to Weaver and then keep the cheese on Ursa. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they choose to deal with that. Gem of True Sight purchased on the Ursa, or purchased on the Earthshaker, rather. And Razor comes in, and the Death Prophet's there as well. There's still cheese on the ground. Are they going to pick that up? Nobody's picked up the cheese quite yet, and yeah. Oh, man. She's still on the ground. Did that get denied? What happened? Oh, okay. Axe picked it up, ate it, and now is fighting. Axe is going to be the first casualty of this fight. They're chasing in on the Weaver, and he's going to try to maneuver his way back away from this. And the Ursa fighting this up. Finishes off the Death Prophet. Finishes off the Earthshaker. Actually, no. Earthshaker's already dead. Maybe? I don't know. Gets a bash on the Razor, but not enough damage. Wraith King comes in, gets a good crit, and finishes his life. I think with those 2 cores down... Actually, they both have buyback, so I think with... the 2 buybacks, Ophion can turn this back around. They're going to wait. They're going to bait the EXGamesPro team in, and then they're going to jump. Oh man, this is going to be 2 heroes dead for sure. Marana's not going to survive this. The taunt goes out on the Wraith King, and he's going to pop off his ultimate, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get finished off. For sure. He's going to pop off the Black King Bar. Maybe he can get a... No, he doesn't even have TP. Oh, blink, blink, blink! Oh, he didn't blink! Oh, he could have escaped that. Now he's dead. Now he's dead. You silly skeleton Wraith man. You cut a blunk. He could have blunk. He didn't blunk. Unfortunate. Alright, Ophion's still in this, man. 2 lanes of racks down, and they're still making fights happen in their favor. You know, they're still behind, but we can see there's like minor spikes down at all times on these graphs. So, I mean, they're always struggling to take it back. And whether they'll be able to make a racks out of this or not, we'll see. Alright, Gem of True Sight. Who's it on? Death Prophet? Yeah, Death Prophet. She is tanky as hell. She's now going for a sheep stick because I think EXGamesPro has realized that Weaver and Ursa are very good targets for sheeping. So, arrow gonna fly, lands on a creep, doesn't do much. Rana has picked up a Manta style, and I don't like this pickup, to be honest. I think there's a lot better things you can go for. There's no drums currently on EXGamesPro, and I think drums are a very great pickup for Mirana. My usual build is phase boots into drums, into a Yasha, and then into something else. I don't finish the Manta, I just go straight for the Yasha, and then I head into Diffusal or, you know, Desolator or something like that. So I think that build would have served them a little bit better this game. There's obviously merits to both, but I think just with the amount of damage that Ophion does, your illusions are not going to last. They're not going to do much, especially in this late game where everybody has armor and some health built up, and you only hit for 120. Your illusions are not going to do next to anything. So, yeah. Anyways, it looks like we've got EXGames starting to move in towards the bottom lane. They want to get in on this push. And, you know, what Ophion needs to do right now is they need to, like, camp out in here and take the engagement here. Because if you let them get up, they're going to start sieging, they're going to start doing damage, and there's not a lot of health left on this tower. And, I mean, if you get up there with a Razor ultimate, with a Death Prophet ultimate, this tower is going to drop. You need to fight outside your base and prevent any of your buildings from taking damage. If you just fight at your base, you're going to lose buildings, and if the entirety of EXGamesPro just focuses buildings, you know, they could kill all the racks before they die. And, I mean, it's not a likely scenario, but it's possible. And, you know, they need to push out, and they need to take the fight up here. They don't want to go up high ground, which is why I was saying they need to hide in here or something, but we'll see how they do choose to take this. I mean, fighting in here is the optimal scenario for them. They don't want to fight up here. And there we go. Razor pops off the BKB. There goes the Exorcism. And now, like I said, this building, you're going to disappear in just a second. Meanwhile, the Weaver is going to be the first casualty of war. He needs to buy back right now and go. He is coming in, but oh my god, that Static Storm. So much damage. Finishes off 3 right away. The Wraith King's ultimate going to get popped off. He is back in the fight. And now they're trying to back away from this. And there we go. Wraith King actually turns around, reinitiates. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, he's doing work, actually. The Ancient Apparition is dropping very low, and the Exorcism might finish him off. But no. Now, the Weaver back in the fight, starting to dish out the damage, and will he manage to finish off the Razor? No, he gets stunned up. He gets a time-lapse, but he can't. Not enough time, and now he's down for 100 seconds. The Death Prophet and the Razor, the only 2 left alive. The Razor needs to get out, man. He is too far behind, and there we go. Death Prophet gets finished off, and like I said, I mean, this is the problem, is that right now, despite the fact that Ophion took a decent fight and let everybody survive, this entire time, they're losing tier 4s, which, actually, they're going to lose both tier 4s. That was terrible. They should have been there instead of farming at base. That was not good. And they lost to tier 3. So now, EXGamesPro literally has a license to do anything they want. You know, you cannot push as Ophion. You can't leave your base because, I mean, there's Boots of Travel on the Razor. There should be Boots of Travel on the Death Prophet by now, but she's still going for that Sheep Stick, so she hasn't picked it up quite yet. But, I mean, at this point, your base is just so vulnerable that anything, like, you know, a stray Mega Creep walking into your base and having someone to TP in it can end the game. And, you know, you need your towers to be able to defend that, to hold that off, and which is why I was saying you need to take the fight outside of your base. If they took the exact same engagement up here and didn't lose their buildings, I think they'd be in a very happy spot, but no. Alright, So boost travel on the HF version. Aghanim's boost travel. That's quite the build there. I like to see ATOS on AA quite a bit actually, because the slow is enough that if you place Cold Feet and then ATOS somebody, they cannot not get Cold Feet. So it's definitely something that I think should have considered, especially because of how squishy he is. I mean, these heroes are blowing him up very quickly, and I think that Vitality booster would do a lot of work for him. Wraith King picks up a Monkey King bar. Is there evasion on the other side?
Double
No,
damage.
no one has evasion. Okay. I guess he just wants a Monkey King bar for the additional damage and the mini stuns, but yeah. Seems odd. Usually on the Wraith King you go for something like a Basher and Abyssal, and Monkey King bar. The only reason I would see for it is if somebody got evasion. I don't know for that quite yet. Anyways, Axe caught a little bit too far out of his base. He's toast.
Dire's Ancient
See ya, bud.
is under attack.
There we go.
Hero dies.
And there we go. They're blinking forward. They want to finish off these racks, and they are going to do it. Double damage up on the Wraith King, and the fortification comes out. There's a Static Storm. It's holding them down. They're actually going to kill the Marana off, maybe. Actually, yeah, Marana does fall, but the Weaver is down, and the Disruptor is going to fall very shortly after. That's Mega Creeps, and that will very likely be GG. That's it. So,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
yeah, we'll see a GG here in a second, but what a game. What a game. It was very, very interesting. It was really back and forth.
Radiant's top barracks are
Aggressive
under attack.
being a sneaky snake man.
Radiant
Backdooring, but
victory.
yeah, so game one, I think we saw a little bit of an outdraft by EXGamesPro. They snagged away that Luna from that dual lane, and it just really made it hard for Ophion to come back and do anything with their with their draft. I mean, they went for a Centaur. They wanted to go for early initiation, but he didn't pick up the Blink Dagger, and it just kind of made it feel really wishy-washy. And they took a couple good fights, but it just wasn't enough to sustain them in the end. And the Luna just got too fat on the other side, and that was it. This game, we saw EXGamesPro take a really odd victory because they kind of just kept throwing themselves at the enemy base, and just because of that chip damage from the Marana, or not from the Marana, sorry, from the Death Prophet and the Razor, they were just able to just kind of work buildings down, and despite not taking definitive fights and not being the clear victor, they were still gaining a gold advantage, and they were still gaining an XP advantage, and eventually in the end they just cracked out Ophion Gaming. So that'll be it. That was your best of two. 2 points go to EXGamesPro, and they will be moving their record up to, I believe, 10-6. So that's a great record to have at this point. I think they're probably among the top in their division. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd love to see the stats. Anyways, that'll be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed my casting, please check me out at twitch.tv/Cptn.Canuck. You can also find me on Twitter and YouTube at the same usernames. Those are on your overlay right now. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. You can check out UGCLeague.com for all of the league info and schedules and whatnot. And for me, that'll be it. Signing off. Have yourselves a grand, wonderful night. I love you all, and I will see you again next time. Cheers.